So recently, I watched a video on MMA Point. It's one of the best YouTube channels on covering the sport of MMA, and it was looking at fighters that have received the most significant strikes in the sport. And the one fighter that's actually come out on top is Max Holloway. Now, Max Holloway, despite him, he literally started his career like at a very young age. I think he started when he was 18 or 19. He got into the UFC when he was around 21, and one of the opponents that he fought when he was 21 was obviously Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor beat him back then, similar to how Conor McGregor beat Dustin Poirier early in his career as well. But since then, literally, Conor, I believe, what's his name, Max Holloway, has not literally been knocked out, despite the fact that he's been in there with the best fighters in the super featherweight division, and he was on the verge of fighting Khabib, and he's an absolute animal. I mean, he literally destroyed everyone that's he's fought in terms of not in terms of winning. Obviously, he's lost fights against the likes of Volkanovski and such, but in terms of just generally, like, no fighter has been able to dent him. No fighter has been able to knock him out. And even Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is a fighter that everyone loves and is renowned for his toughness. He's very tough, but even Nate Diaz got knocked out by Josh Thompson by a leg kick. But if you look at Max Holloway's taken some ferocious punishment. Like in his fight against Volkanovski in the third fight, he got absolutely trashed. And don't get it twisted, he's given out punishment as well. What he's done to Calvin Kattar, I think he landed more than 1,000 shots on him. And on top of that, what he did to Brian Ortega as well, when he completely destroyed him with that dare fight. He has dished out a lot of punishment, but he's also taken a lot of punishment, and he's taken the most significant strikes in the sport. I think him and John Jones are the top two level fighters that have taken the most amount of punishment as well as dishing it out. And I think it's a testament to his chin. If you look at most of the contemporaries that he grew up with, like the likes of Tony Ferguson, who was around during his era, and several other fighters, like for example, even Dustin Poirier, who he fought, they've all been knocked out. But Max Holloway has not been knocked out yet. He's not been chinned yet, even though he's been in there against top level opposition. So I think it's a testament to his chin, how sturdy his chin is, that he could take this level of punishment and not get knocked out. And I think he should get credit for that. So I think Max Holloway is one of the toughest. Well, he is probably arguably the toughest fighter in the UFC. Not only is he a champion and he's got great skills, but he's ridiculously tough and he's taken so much punishment in the sport. And he's still relatively young. He's still in his early 30s. I think he's only just turned 30. But to be honest, for his career's sake, he doesn't seem that punch drunk either. If you compare his speech pattern to like and Nate Diaz, his speech pattern doesn't seem too bad. So I just think he's one of them naturally tough fighters. And he doesn't seem like he's unhinged. Like for example, Tony Ferguson is he's a little bit unhinged and eccentric and weird and out there. Max Holloway doesn't seem like he's that type of guy, despite the punishment that he's taken. But I do feel like he does need to think about retirement. I think, in my opinion, if Volkanovski never existed in that division, I think Max Holloway would have become the featherweight GOAT, because he would have just kept making title defenses, kept beating everyone. And I'll be honest with you, like I think he would have been an absolute animal. But obviously Volkanovski came around, and now he's the greatest featherweight in UFC history. But tell me what you think below. Do you think Max Holloway is one of the toughest men in the sport? I think he definitely is. I think he's taken so much punishment and he's managed to perform so well under pressure. And he's never been stopped. He's been dropped and hurt a few times. Don't get it twisted. And he did get like KO'd by McGregor and stopped. But the fact is, he's never been out on his feet. He's never been completely out. The way Tony Ferguson got knocked out by Michael Chandler, the way Dustin Poirier got knocked out by Justin Gaethje, none of that has ever happened to Max Holloway, and he's taken a lot of punishment. But I think he should think about retirement soon. I think, because he has taken an absolute shellacking. I'm just in admiration of his toughness and his chin and how tough he is in the sport of MMA. So tell me what you think below. Do you think what I'm saying is true, or do you think I'm not telling the truth? Tell me what you think, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace.